There are enemies in your life that don't make noise. They don't announce their arrival. They don't shake your world in a single moment. Instead, they whisper, they wait, and slowly they steal everything you could have become. Success is not always destroyed by failure. Sometimes it is quietly murdered by habits you don't even notice, by thoughts you normalize, by excuses you repeat so often that they begin to sound like truth. And the most dangerous part, these killers don't look like enemies. They look like comfort. They look like I'll do it tomorrow. They look like I'm not ready yet. You don't lose your dreams in one day. You lose them in small, silent moments when you choose fear over courage, comfort over growth, and excuses over action. Today, you're not just listening to words. Today, you're identifying the enemies within you and taking your power back. 1. Procrastination, the thief of time. You don't realize the damage procrastination is doing because it doesn't come crashing into your life like a storm. It comes quietly, disguised as comfort, as just 5 more minutes, as I'll start tomorrow. And tomorrow feels so harmless when you say it today. But tomorrow has a habit of never arriving. It hides behind your excuses, your distractions, your endless scrolling, your waiting for motivation. And slowly, without even noticing, you begin to lose the most valuable thing you have: time. Not money, not opportunities, not even confidence, but time. Because once it slips through your fingers, it never comes back. Every dream you have requires action, not intention. But procrastination feeds you the illusion that thinking about your goals is the same as working on them. It makes you feel busy when you're actually standing still. You plan, you imagine, you visualize, but you don't move. And movement is everything. Because success is not built on perfect plans. It is built on imperfect actions taken consistently. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start, because delay builds resistance. And resistance slowly turns into fear. And fear becomes your permanent excuse. You tell yourself you're waiting for the right moment, but deep down, you know the truth. There is no perfect moment. Life doesn't pause and align itself for your convenience. The right moment is always uncomfortable, always uncertain, always inconvenient. And that's why most people never begin, because they are addicted to comfort and allergic to effort. But the ones who rise, the ones who transform their lives, are the ones who act even when they don't feel ready, even when everything inside them is resisting, even when fear is whispering, "Not yet." Time is not waiting for you to decide. It is moving forward, with or without you. Every second you delay is a second someone else is taking action, learning, growing, evolving. And one day, you will look back and realize it wasn't lack of talent or opportunity that held you back. It was delay. It was hesitation. It was the habit of putting your life on hold. And the moment you understand this truth deeply, you stop negotiating with time, you stop waiting for motivation, and you begin. Because starting imperfectly today is far more powerful than waiting perfectly forever too. Self-doubt, the voice that lies. There is a voice inside your mind that sounds like you, but it is not you. It questions your worth, your ability, your dreams. It tells you that you are not enough, that you are not ready, that you will fail. And the most dangerous part is not that it exists, the most dangerous part is that you believe it. Because the moment you believe that voice, you start shrinking yourself. You start playing small. You start choosing safety over possibility. And slowly, you begin to betray your own potential. Self-doubt doesn't destroy you in one moment. It chips away at you, little by little. It makes you hesitate when you should act. It makes you silent when you should speak. It makes you quit when you should push forward. It convinces you that your dreams are too big for someone like you. But who decided that? Who told you that you are not capable? Those beliefs were not born with you, they were planted in you through fear, through failure, through the opinions of others. And what is planted can also be uprooted. The truth is, every person who has ever achieved something meaningful has faced self-doubt. The difference is not that they were fearless. The difference is that they did not obey their fear. They felt it, they heard it, but they refused to let it control their decisions. Because courage is not the absence of doubt, it is the decision to move forward despite it. And every time you take action in the presence of fear, you weaken its grip over your life. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who chooses which thoughts to believe. And the moment you start questioning your doubts instead of accepting them, everything begins to shift. What if you are capable? What if you are stronger than you? Think. What if the only thing standing between you and your success is a voice that isn't even telling the truth? And when you begin to challenge that voice, to replace it with belief, with action, with persistence, you don't just silence self-doubt, you transform into someone it can no longer control. 3. Comfort zone, the beautiful prison. Your comfort zone feels like safety. It feels like control. It feels like a place where nothing can go wrong. But what you don't realize is that it is also the place where nothing truly goes right. It is a space where growth is suffocated, where potential is limited, where dreams are quietly buried under routines that feel easy but lead nowhere. It is a beautiful prison because it doesn't look like one. It doesn't have walls you can see, but it has boundaries you rarely dare to cross. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you are choosing to stay the same. And staying the same is the most dangerous decision you can make in a world that rewards growth. Because life does not stand still. It either moves forward or backward. And if you are not evolving, you are slowly falling behind. The comfort zone convinces you that you have time, that you can grow later, that you can take risks someday. But someday is just another version of never, wrapped in a more comforting lie. Growth begins the moment you feel uncomfortable. When your heart beats faster, when your hands shake, when your mind is filled with uncertainty, that is the moment you are stepping into something new. And new is where transformation lives. It is where you discover your strength, your resilience, your true capabilities. But you will never find that version of yourself if you keep choosing what is easy over what is necessary. The life you dream of exists outside your comfort zone. It is waiting on the other side of fear, on the other side of risk, on the other side of effort. And the longer you stay where you are, the further that life feels. But the moment you take one step outside, just one step into discomfort, you begin to expand, you begin to grow. And slowly, what once felt impossible starts to feel achievable. Because your limits were never real, they were just boundaries you accepted without question. 4. Fear of failure, the invisible barrier. Fear of failure is not loud. It doesn't always stop you directly. Instead, it disguises itself as hesitation, as overthinking, as waiting for the perfect plan. It makes you believe that if you don't try, you won't fail, and somehow that feels safer. But what you don't realize is that in trying to avoid failure, you are also avoiding success. Because the path to success is built on failures, on mistakes, on lessons learned through experience. Failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of it. Every setback teaches you something that success never could. It shows you what doesn't work. It builds your resilience. It strengthens your mindset. But fear convinces you to see failure as the end, not as a step forward. It makes you believe that one mistake defines you, that one fall means you should stop. But the truth is, the only way you truly fail is when you refuse to rise again. You are not afraid of failing. You are afraid of what people will think if you fail. You are afraid of judgment, of embarrassment, of not meeting expectations. But those fears are external. They do not define your journey unless you allow them to. Because the people who judge you are not the ones living your life. They are not the ones carrying your dreams. And their opinions should never be stronger than your purpose. The moment you change your relationship with failure, everything changes. When you stop fearing it and start learning from it, you become unstoppable. Because now, nothing can hold you back. Not mistakes, not setbacks, not rejection. You begin to see every failure as feedback, every loss as a lesson, every challenge as an opportunity to grow. And that is the moment you break free from the invisible barrier and step into your true potential. 5. Negative environment, the silent influence. You might believe that your success depends only on you, your effort, your mindset, your discipline. But the truth is, your environment shapes you in ways you don't always notice. The people around you, the conversations you hear, the energy you absorb, it all becomes a part of you. And if you are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, and limitations, it slowly begins to influence how you think, how you act, how you see yourself. Negativity is contagious. When you are around people who complain, who criticize, who focus on problems instead of solutions, you start doing the same. It becomes your normal. You begin to lower your expectations, to question your dreams, to settle for less than what you are capable of. Not because you want to, but because you have been conditioned to believe that this is all there is. But the moment you change your environment, you change your life. When you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who challenge you, who believe in growth, you start to rise. Their energy pushes you forward. Their mindset expands your vision. Their presence reminds you of what is possible. Because success is not just about working hard, it is about being in an environment that supports your growth and fuels your ambition. You have the power to choose what you allow into your life. You have the power to protect your energy, to guard your mindset, to walk away from anything that pulls you down. And the moment you take that responsibility seriously, everything begins to shift. Because when your environment aligns with your goals, when your surroundings support your vision, when your energy is focused on growth, you don't just move forward. You transform into a version of yourself that refuses to settle for anything less than greatness. In the end, success is not taken away from you in one dramatic moment. It is slowly surrendered through the choices you repeat every single day. The silent killers you've just faced are not outside of you. They live within your habits, your thoughts, your environment, your fears. And that is not something to fear, it is something to own. Because if the problem is within you, then the power to change it is also within you. The moment you become aware of these silent enemies is the moment you stop being controlled by them. You begin to see your delays, your doubts, your comfort, your fears, and your surroundings for what they truly are, not your identity, but your obstacles. And now the responsibility shifts to you, not tomorrow, not someday, not when you feel ready, but now. Because awareness without action is just another form of procrastination. You don't need a perfect plan to begin. You don't need confidence to take the first step. You don't need permission to rise. You just need the courage to start where you are with what you have. And as you begin, as you push through discomfort, as you silence the noise and focus on your path, you will realize something powerful. You were never lacking potential. You were only held back by what you tolerated. And the moment you stop tolerating anything that kills your growth, you step into a version of yourself that is unstoppable.